Hello from Nadia.
Cars and races, my baby don't care for.
Broadcasting from Oroville.
High tone places. Liz Taylor is not a star, and even Lana Turner smile.
From Oroville, Tamil Nadu, southeastern India, Bay of Bengal.
My baby don't care, no.
Welcome to Lunaria program or Lunaria podcast. According if you're listening live or the recorded version of my voice. Welcome to my program. This is a public platform for promoting women's health and vitality. I decided to open the space for sharing in-depth information about women's cyclical wisdom, women's rites of passage, and many other relevant topics related to what it is to be a woman, to live in a woman's body nowadays. In each episode of my podcast, I'm going to focus on particular topics such as menstruality, fertility, sexuality, pregnancy or birth, motherhood, perimenopause, and other themes that are crucial in the woman's cyclical experience. So I'm keeping on repeating this word, cyclical, and this is so important. Why? Well, because we women, we relate to a cyclical life. We have an inner cyclical rhythm that it's very, very evident in terms of periods of menstruation. Cyclically, every month, we experience a hormonal change. And by understanding our own body-mind system, we can help ourselves in our own personal healing processes, and also we'll be able to make our own lives easier. So if you happen to tap into menstrual disorders, hormonal disorders, fertility issues, cervical issues, etc., this can all become a huge opportunity to retrieve the connection with the wisdom of your body, with the wisdom of your emotions, and with the wisdom of your intuitions. Well, today I'd like to speak about what it is for me, cyclical power. So the innate cyclical power of a woman. So this is something that is so much important and is so horrible that we women end up not knowing this for a too long time. Too many girls are not in contact with their own cyclical awareness. That is the awareness of our own body rhythm. This is important because not only it functions as a natural birth control, but it also make you become aware of what's fertility. So knowing when you can get pregnant or not, but also in a more figurative way. So we're not just speaking about sex and reproduction. We're more than that. We're beyond that. So this is also related to the inner energies that live in each phase of your cycle. This is the cyclical power or cyclical powers because you have more than one. So the beauty of your cyclical body and fertility is not only restricting to be able to conceive, but it allows you to embrace the multifaceted beingness of you, of yourself, and the deep power that you carry within in each week of your life, in each phase of your cycle. So, what is this cyclical awareness exactly? Well, it is literally, as it is awareness, it is the act of being aware by following and tracking the physical, emotional and energetic shifts of a woman. I say of a woman, but it could be of anything. Cyclical awareness can relate to seasonal changes, so what happens outside in the outer realm. And the plant queendom, I like to speak of queendoms when I speak about plants, and minerals, animals, all the other realms you have around you have a cyclical life. But in order to understand what's outside, first you need to be in contact with what's inside. So this is again cyclical awareness of a woman's body. So this happens cyclically within the menstrual cycle of a woman. So women bleed, we know this, and they have cyclical patterns before and after periods. Women who don't bleed, so in particular pregnant women or women in perimenopause, postmenopause, they have other other seasonal cycles within, and I'll be speaking about this in particular in the next episodes. This is important. It's important to be aware of these cyclical changes. It's important to get back to the cyclical awareness, because this brings us to a deep state of embodiment, of knowing what's inside, of knowing that your actions and decision comes from a place of cyclical change. They're not just random. And not only that, it's also an act of deep self-care. In a world where we speak a lot about self-care, I'd like to clarify that self-care for me is not just having a shower every day, putting the right cream on, using the right essential oils, and smiling to the world. But it's beyond that. It's far beyond that, actually. Self-care means acknowledging that your energy body in a premenstrual phase has completely different needs rather than your energy body in a follicular phase, that is after menstruation. Acknowledging that during periods, you may experience an energy shift, that it's polarized compared to the ovulatory one, where you tap into ovulation, that fertile window we all have. So, yeah, we're speaking about the capacity to listen to the subtle and gross needs of your body. And when you understand the needs of your body, there you can give exactly what your body needs. And this ultimately leads to a sustained mental, physical, and emotional health. Again, health. So when you understand your cyclical powers and your personal inclinations according to the changes or hormonal changes within, you also understand that certain patterns of emotional states or actions of preference are not just there for a random reason. They are there to guide you through your own cyclical life. So there is a reason behind everything. There is a cause and an effect. The effect is your emotional state or your action of preference. The cause is the inner hormonal cyclical change. So if you know exactly at which phase of your cycle you are right now, there you can know what to expect. You can allow yourself to surrender more into specific emotions rather than others, or physical states, instead of opposing whatever is arising. Because when you struggle and when you fight against a certain emotional state or physical state, you lose energy, you waste your time, and you end up in the famous PMS. I have many patients, clients, consultants who complain for that. This PMS, they tell me, please remove this from my life. I can't make it anymore. And yeah, I suggest to start from the beginning, not from the end. This is the end. When you end up having PMS, you end up kind of having completely forgotten about your cyclical powers and cyclical awareness. So you need to start back again. You need to start from the beginning. And what's the beginning? The beginning is the end. The beginning is your periods. The beginning is your blood, your bleeding time. The time where you die, the time where you are reborn. That is the time. It's taking care of this deep time of death, of rebirth. And from there, experiencing the awareness of every day, of every phase, until you end up in the luteal phase, the premenstrual phase. And there's many things we could do for that. And we will dive into detail about each phase, about each common problem or risk or issues related to the phases of our cycles. But before that, it's important to understand that this cyclical awareness is so clear outside anytime you connect with the cycle of the moon, which is such a, such a known thing. Everyone knows that women are related to the moon, that women and the moon are talking the same language, that the lunar cycle mirrors the women's cycle, and the polarities the lunar cycle expresses are the same that we women express as well. So the new moon will be expressing the energy of your menstrual time, your inner new moon, and the full moon will be expressing the energy of your inner full moon, that is your ovulation, the opposite polarity. So check it out. Check how your own body mirrors the new moon in the time of menstruation, and how your inner body, inner moon, inner full moon mirrors the time of ovulation. Speaking about menstruation, which is something that occurs, I think that every second there is a woman who's having her periods in that moment. I read something from Ecofam recently on their Instagram account. They said that every day there is 800,000 people bleeding, something like that. So we're all in the same thing here. Anyway, speaking about periods, let's give a bit of hormonal explanation. So we are in the time of peak and drop of that hormone that is called progesterone. And when we have this drop of this hormone, it's not just progesterone actually, but it's also estrogen that's being dropped. All your body starts shifting into a very, very special time. It's a time where, from an archetypical point of view, you're very, very much related to, close to the ancient woman, a woman who's experiencing death, a woman who's an oracle, a visionary, someone who's moved through death. So someone who can easily connect to the divine visions and wisdom. And there we go. So drop of progesterone and estrogen, menstruation goes on, your blood is released, and you start having your follicular phase. Follicular phase, again, associated to the archetypical energy of the rebirth of the child, of the freshness and joyfulness of being new, of being a fresh, brand new girl. So inner girl, freedom from all the also fertility things, because you're not only new, but you're also quite far away from the full moon, that is the peak of your fertility. So you're still exploring life. There's this curiosity that's driving you through the days passing until you end up experiencing your full moon. So your ovulation. And there is the time where you're full of light, which is shared with the world outside. And it represents the ultimate peak of extroverted energy. That is the power of estrogen, is the peak of this hormone called estrogen. So it's exactly the opposite of menstruation. It's the time where you go outside, where you share, where you give, where you take care, where you're at service full time. And then, like any peak, there will be a descending wave, a descending curve. That is the time after your ovulation, where you slowly, gradually fall down into the darkness, but very gradually. There is 2 weeks to go. And this is the luteal phase, where estrogen decreases and progesterone increases. It's the hormone that increases the amount of water in your belly, that nourishes your womb as a little nest for your creation. That could be a baby or an idea, project, anything. And this is a very, very misunderstood archetype. And it's the reason why 70% of women experience PMS. Because it's really, really hard to explain this time from the same masculine categories of society, of intellectual speculation. Because it's not masculine. It's completely non-masculine, extremely feminine. Total feminine energy, like menstruation as well. So we're going into the darkness. Energy is different. There is no more need to express and be so extroverted. Energy is going inward, more introverted. Energy is going inside. That is, it's inside where you find the powers that reside in this phase. And these are more magical powers. These are very particular powers. Again, with a relationship with the animal world, where instinct is important. No mind chit-chat. Instinct in connection with your 5 senses, with what you need, and rest. Resting, taking rest for getting ready for menstruation, which is a deep inner and outer change. You need to have energy for that. So you need to stay in, to gradually move in for more soothing activity. So that's the energy we speak about. This is just a brief intro. And through the next episodes, I'm gonna guide you through the charting of your cyclical awareness, the charting of your menstrual cycle. And we'll see all the physical symptomatology, all the journaling ways that can be done. And we'll be diving into many other juicy topics that are relevant for women and for all the world, because we are half of the population, and no matter which gender is yours, you may be interested in knowing how women are made, and how your mother works, how your sister, how your friends, how half of the population beautifully expresses on Mother Earth. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. You can catch me again every Tuesday on my live program on Oroville Radio, 10:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time. If you're not in India, you can catch the podcast after the live program. Thank you.